The Death of a Clerk. The selected stories of Anton Chekhov. One fine evening, the no less fine office manager, Ivan Dmitrich Chervyakov, was sitting in the second row of the stalls, watching the bells of Corneville through opera glasses. He watched and felt himself at the height of bliss. But suddenly occurs often in stories. The authors are right. Life is so full of the unexpected. But suddenly his face wrinkled, his eyes rolled, his breath stopped. He put down the opera glasses, bent forward, and achoo! As you see, he sneezed. Sneezing is not prohibited to anyone anywhere. Peasants sneeze, police chiefs sneeze. Sometimes even privy councillors sneeze. Everybody sneezes. Chervyakov, not embarrassed in the least, wiped his nose with his handkerchief and, being a polite man, looked around to see whether his sneezing had disturbed anyone. And now he did become embarrassed. He saw that the little old man sitting in front of him in the first row of the stalls was carefully wiping his bald head and neck with his glove and muttering something. Chervyakov recognized the little old man as General Brezhilov, who served in the Department of Transportation. I sprayed him, thought Chervyakov. He's not my superior. He serves elsewhere, but it's awkward. I must apologize. Chervyakov coughed, leaned forward, and whispered in the general's ear. Excuse me, Your Excellence. I sprayed you. I accidentally... Never mind. For God's sake, excuse me. I didn't mean it. Do sit down, please. Let me listen. Chervyakov became embarrassed, smiled stupidly, and began looking at the stage. He looked, but felt no more bliss. Anxiety began to torment him. In the intermission, he went up to Brezhilov, walked around him, and overcoming his timidity, murmured, I sprayed you, Your Excellency. Forgive me, it's not that I... Come now. I've already forgotten. And you keep at it, said the general, impatiently twitching his lower lip. Forgotten? But there's malice in his eyes, thought Chervyakov, glancing suspiciously at the general. He doesn't even want to talk. I must explain to him that I really didn't mean it, that it's a law of nature. Otherwise he'll think I wanted to spit. If he doesn't think so now, he will later. On returning home, Chervyakov told his wife about his rudeness. His wife, it seemed to him, treated the incident much too lightly. She merely got frightened, but then, on learning that Brezhilov served elsewhere, she calmed down. But all the same, you should go and apologize, she said. He might think you don't know how to behave in public. That's just it. I apologized, but he was somehow strange. Didn't say a single sensible word, and then there was no time to talk. The next day, Chervyakov put on a new uniform, had his hair cut, and went to Brezhilov to explain. Going into the general's reception room, he saw many petitioners there, and among them was the general himself, who had already begun to receive petitions. Having questioned several petitioners, the general raised his eyes to Shavyakov. Yesterday in the Arcadia, if you recall, Your Excellency, the office manager began. I sneezed, sir, and accidentally sprayed you for such trifles, God knows. Can I be of help to you? The general addressed the next petitioner. He doesn't want to talk, thought Shavyakov, turning pale. That means he's angry. No, it can't be left like this. I'll explain to him. When the general finished his discussion with the last petitioner and headed for the inner rooms, Shavyakov followed him and murmured, Your Excellency, if I venture to trouble Your Excellency, it's precisely, I might say, from a feeling of repentance. It wasn't on purpose. You know that yourself, sir. The general made a tearful face and waved his hand. You must be joking, my dear sir, he said, disappearing behind the door. What kind of joke is it? Thought Shavyakov. This is no kind of joke at all. A general, yet he can't understand. If that's the way it is, I won't apologize to the swagger any more. Devil take him. I'll write him a letter, but I won't come myself. By God, I won't. So Shavyakov thought, walking home. He wrote no letter to the general. He thought and simply could not think up that letter. So the next day he had to go himself and explain. I came yesterday to trouble Your Excellency, he began to murmur, when the general raised his questioning eyes to him. Not for a joke, as you were pleased to say. I was apologizing for having sneezed and sprayed you, sir, and I never even thought of joking. Would I dare joke with you? If we start joking, soon there won't be any respect for persons left. Get out, barked the general, suddenly turning blue and shaking. What, sir? Shavyakov asked in a whisper, sinking with terror. Get out! The general repeated, stamping his feet. Something in Shavyakov's stomach snapped. Seeing nothing, hearing nothing, he backed his way to the door, went out and plodded off. Reaching home mechanically, without taking off his uniform, he lay down on the sofa and died.